Alright, so like, I'm not trying to harp on this like too much because I know how fucking people are being sensitive and shit, and that's okay. Whatever, everybody's different. No big deal. I'm not hating on nobody. It has nothing to do with being hateful or negative or anything for that matter. And I just want to state that before I say anything. So I'm just scrolling through Facebook, and for some odd reason, I can't remember what the page is called, but it's a LGBTQ lettuce, tomato, cheese, bacon, and onions, and plus this and negative that and divide and everything else. I can't remember what the fuck it is, but you get what I'm saying. And no, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just being fucking stupid. All right. But long story short, these people, this guy posts on there that about straight pride, or not straight pride, about gay pride, and being prideful, and talk about fighting for his life because he can't go to a specific restroom and pee, so he has to hold his pee, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, I get all that. And then he not necessarily attacked me, but was like, well, do you have to worry about where you go to pee every day? Do you have to worry about not being able to marry who you want to marry? And and then they're trying to make gay marriage legal here and this and that, blah blah blah. And my response was like, bro, first off, who gives a fuck about marriage? All right, let's just be real. Who gives a shit about marriage? Because marriage is really nothing, you know what I mean? And in the end, male or female, whatever you are, if I marry somebody today and I'm the breadwinner and they cheat and then they leave me and we break up, then I gotta fucking split my money. That's literally, for whatever reason, that's the only benefit that seems like marriage has. Because my whole thing is that if you love somebody and you want to be with them for the rest of your life, then fucking just be with them. You don't got to have a fucking piece of gold on your hand or a watch or whatever it is to signify your love for somebody. Fucking show them. But anyway, regardless, I assumed it was just a person who was gay. I didn't think to dig deeper into it, and it ended up being a person who I'm gonna assume was a male to female, or maybe it's just a male who thinks he's a female. I'll just say that for lack of better words, because I know people are fucking getting angry because I said think, or believe or whatever. My whole thing is this: if you were born with a dick, then you're a man. If you were born with a vagina, you're a woman. And I'm not saying that to be mean. And I'm not saying that to be hateful. Like, at all. It's just, I don't understand the disconnect when we have these conversations, and when I say something like that, it's automatic fucking throw your hands up and you're wrong and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But my whole thing is that, no, like, the conversation stops at the fact of that you were born a certain way, and that's how you are supposed to be identified, because that's just how life works with any animal out there, except for, like, seahorses and maybe a couple other things, are born with a dick and balls, or a vagina, or whatever you want to call it, and that's how they reproduce. It's the whole point of sex, is to reproduce. And I'm not saying this like I've never had sex just for the pleasure. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Like I'm some fucking, I'm, above everybody. Like, it has nothing to do with that, But if you boil it down to the very skin and bones of everything, then sex was strictly for reproducing, to have another child. It wasn't for pleasure. Do you get pleasure out of it? Yes, of course you do. But it was for to continue your fucking bloodline, your race, to keep having kids, and that's just the way that it is. If you were born that way, you were born that way. Now, if you are born a male and you want to be gay and you like men and you want to dress up as a woman or dress feminine, that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Me personally, no, I don't agree with it, because it's just not who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. I don't openly make fun of fucking people for being that way. I don't do any of that shit. You know, I have family members who are gay, and I love her to fucking death, man. You know, whether she sees this or not, I don't know. You know, and I'm not trying to put nobody on blast because it's not the point of the video. My whole thing is that just live your fucking life, man. And like, and I don't know, like in a weird way, I do sympathize with a person feeling like they're being shunned out of society and they're not allowed to use the bathroom and not allowed to do this. Like, I feel for you, and I wish that, you know, in a perfect world that it would be okay for you to do that. But there's reasons why there's guidelines, you know, that it just, like, my whole thing is this: if I grew up around pit bulls all of my life, all right, and which I pretty much have, you know, but never once was I like, hey, I think I'm a pit bull, you know, or I think I'm a dog, so I'm going to be a dog. But let's just say, for shits and giggles, that I do think that. Everybody and their mother is going to look at me and laugh because they're going to be like, dude, are you okay? Like, are you mentally well? Are you mentally unstable? Because that you're delusional, because you can't be a dog. Alright? Just the same way as if you were born a fucking female, you can't be a male. You can dress up like one, you can act like one, you can, you know, be as masculine as you possibly can, but it's never going to grow a dick, and vice versa. You're never going to grow a vagina. You know, let alone, even if you got the surgery to get a vagina, you'll never be able to bear children because it's not physically possible. Now, is it going to be possible in the future? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Who the hell knows? Because at this point, anything's possible. But it's just the biological fucking framework of life. I don't understand why people get so bent out of shape when somebody says this, you know. And it's not like I'm saying like, oh, you can't be who you want to be. No, you can be whoever you want to be. That's completely fine, bro. Completely fine. All I'm saying is that you got to just adhere to certain guidelines because it's factual, concrete, whatever you want to call it, you know? Like I said, if you were born that way, you were born that way, you know? You can't just magically fucking change your gender. You can act like the other gender and dress up like that person and fool somebody, but you'll never be that gender. And that's fine, you know? I don't understand it, the disconnect here. And then what really bothers me the most is that maybe it's the way that I say it, maybe it's the emotion that I have behind it, maybe it's what I'm saying exactly, but gay people I won't say every gay person, but anybody that's in that group automatically looks at me like I'm fucking, I hate people, or I hate you, or like being super disrespectful, but it has nothing to do with that. And I just wish we could come to a fucking common ground, man. Like, there's no reason to fight over this shit. There's really not. If that's what you want to do, then just do it. Who gives a fuck if you can't get married? You can still be with the person. You can still have sex with them. You can still do whatever they want. You can still live your life out and grow old with them, with that person. And who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? That's it. But when it becomes a point to where you have to openly boast and brag and let everybody and their mother know that you're gay, or you're a part of this, or you're a part of that, then it becomes a problem. Why? Because now you're putting it in everybody's face. Now, are you directly shoving it in my face? No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that you're putting it out on the internet, which eventually it's going to make rounds, or maybe it might make it in front of me. It just, you never know. It's just how the internet works. The algorithms work. That's just how it is. And it just so happened that the post did find me in my feed, or I found it in the feed, and I decided to say something. You know, and now I'm looked at as a fucking hater, or I'm wrong because I spoke my mind. And their argument is, well, you know, you could have just kept scrolling. You know, nobody's throwing it in your face. I'm like, well, I get that. Maybe throwing it in your face is the wrong way to say it. But all I'm saying is that if you have to be prideful about your sexuality, then there's something fucking wrong. All right. There's no reason why. That's why there's no groups out there that are like LGBT or as big as LGBT, whatever the fuck it is, that represent straight pride or regular, male females or female liking males. There's no pride group out there because we just live our fucking lives. That's it. But like I said, I don't understand why it's always met with such hostility. Like I guess I understand it because everybody in that realm seems to think that they're being attacked when it's not. I wish I could see you in person and fucking show you that I don't hate you or that I do care. But I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video just because I don't know. I just wanted to express my opinion and just tell people that it has nothing to do with hate or hating a certain person, or whatever the case is. But it just becomes a point when you're putting that shit in front of everybody's faces and you expect quote unquote normal people not to say nothing. Well, I'm sorry, but when you put it on the internet and it's public, it's open for debate for anybody. I don't care if they agree or disagree or whatever the case is. Simple as that. You're entitled to whatever you want to say, and so am I. And if you don't like what I have to say, then so be it. I'm not saying anything because I'm trying to change somebody's mind. I'm just telling you the fucking facts. I'm not here to change nobody's mind because you're going to do whatever you want to do. It's obvious. And that's fine. Completely fine.